morning, everybody. So today's video, we're going to be talking about Ocean's fairly new diet. He's been on it maybe about 5-6 weeks now, and just an update on what we've changed him over to. If you've seen my previous video before, you could see what I did feed him before in the past. So it was basically Taste of the Wild kibble mixed in with cooked chicken, sweet potatoes, green beans, kale, and all that stuff. So now we've kind of switched him over. He's about to be 2 years old, so we feel like we could change his diet to see how he adapts to eating raw. We've heard and researched so many great things about raw foods and how great it is for their fur, their teeth, and just everything internally. So wanted to share what we've found and what we researched, and and how maybe this could help you transition if you've been thinking about transitioning from kibble to raw. And not to say that kibble isn't bad, because, you know, there are some dogs that don't really react well off raw, and there's some dogs that react really well off raw. So you've just got to monitor your dog and see what works best for him or her. So not one diet may be good for all breeds, or, you know, if your dog has specific health issues or allergies. Yeah, and chewing on carpet is probably not good for you either. So yeah, so I would do research a little bit more if you have specific allergies or health issues that your dog might have that might not react to certain proteins or certain foods. So here's a little snippet kind of I want to share with you when we first switched him over. And if you do switch them over, you know, a lot of research says, you know, you need to switch it, you know, cold turkey, so you can't mix in kibble with raw food, which may be true. You know, there's still some kind of pros and cons about that, just because it might mess up their digestive tract and their stomachs. So, you know, it's totally however you guys feel might work best for you. It's not necessarily that you have to just go cold turkey. But with us, we didn't, you know, we're not using like, hey, the store-bought like chicken breast and chicken necks and raw eggs and stuff like that. We actually have started out with this brand called Primal Pet Foods, and it's such a great brand that we really believe in, and I'll show you in a minute why, and you know, the research we've done behind it, to see maybe it may be a good transition for you. So if you actually, you know, like it and want to transition to raw, this might be a good way to do it, just because their foods, or I'm sorry, their packaging of their foods is just so much easier to feed your dog with, rather than just going out and buying, you know, raw fish and raw meats, you know, 24/7, which over here actually in Hawaii, it's a little difficult to find, and, you know, you don't know like the meat source or where it's come from exactly, because a lot of things are imported here. So it's really hard to find a good butcher shop too. So, okay, I'll start the video. He's always pushing me. Okay, so without further ado, we will start the video, and here we go. Hey guys, so one of the websites that we used to research was perfectlyrawsome.com, and we thought it was a really great site which talked everything about the raw diet and, you know, the raw muscle meat, the edible bone, the organs, the veggies, the fruits, the supplements that your dog needs when transitioning to raw and when feeding your dog raw. What's really cool too is that they have a section on there which is a raw feeding calculator, in which you can input your dog's weight, if your pounds or kilograms, and then it shows you and breaks down the percentages of each of the categories based on your dog's weight. And also you can choose the activity level that your dog is, so if they're moderately active, if they're very active, and so forth. We thought this was really helpful. What's really cool about it is if you scroll down, you can actually put in your email, and they can send you a copy of your dog's plan. You can just print it out and put it on your fridge, so that way you have it for reference of what you need to feed your dog. So this was kind of a good base to kind of start at and figure out what is good. If you look at this PMR, that's kind of To me, that's a little bit more intense. PMR is basically where all the fur and the feathers are still in the animal. We're not at that level yet. So, and obviously out here we don't hunt for our food, for our dogs or for us even. So we have not transitioned them to PMR. So one of the brands that we came across out here, and it's available in locations all across the US, is Primal Pet Foods. And Primal Pet Foods basically has different sources of meat that they package their food with. And it's all raw and it's wholesome and all natural ingredients. And each of the sources of protein come in chicken, bison, beef, turkey, salmon, etc. And what's really cool is that it's already broken down for you. So instead of trying to go and figure out, you know, through the whole calculator, oh my gosh, I need to go to the grocery store and get like a ton of things. It's basically all done here for you already. And that's what we really loved, because it just made feeding our dogs really, really easy. And, you know, it comes in different types. So you can get them in patty form or a nugget form, or even in like the scoop and serve form, which, you know, is good for smaller breeds, for smaller bites. And so they have, you know, tons of also other things and supplements that they sell too. They have goat's milk, and they also have beef marrow bones too as well. So here's a sample of the chicken formula bag. It comes in a 6-pound bag with 12 patties. As you can see on the bag, it says it's 78% chicken, bone, and organ, and then 22% are the extra supplements and produce like vegetables and fruit. And what's really cool on the back, it'll show you your feeding ratios. So for example, my Husky, 60 pounds, he'll need 3 patties a day. So that's 1.5 patty per meal, because he eats twice a day. This was another thing I found too, which is really good for them. He actually loves this Green Tripe. It's really smelly. And it comes in a huge 5-pounder like this, and I sourced from California. So what I did is I sliced these patties, or sliced this big thing down into patties, so that way I could easily freeze and store it. It kind of smells, so you just gotta do it really quick. I fast forwarded this, and then what I did is I packed them individually into Ziploc bags, so it's easier to feed and portion. So I won't give them the whole entire patty in one sitting. What I'll do is I'll give them like half a patty with, you know, some of the Primal, and just mix it in there. And I'll probably incorporate this tripe maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So it's got like some organs in there too, so it's really good for the enzymes for their teeth, to break down the plaque, the tartar, keep their breath actually fresh, which is nice. And a good thing is here, you know, it gets kind of messy, so you want to make sure that you keep your area clean. Make sure there's blood and stuff. I know it's kind of gross, but make sure you spray it down and you just keep where you're working at clean, so that way nothing really gets contaminated. So what I do is I pretty much will mix that in with the Primal, and then I will freeze the rest of the bags in our freezer. And then I'll take maybe like 1 or 2 out a week, so that way I can feed them. And then I'll defrost the Primal food and the frozen tripe at the same time. What's really cool is that the Primal stuff is really easy to feed, and it takes no time to defrost, which is really nice. But I literally would just take it out, you know, in the morning. So here is when I first started feeding Ocean the Primal. Primal's pretty flexible, so if you're transitioning, I would start maybe, you know, a quarter of the Primal and then the rest kibble, and then kind of work it throughout the week where you're slowly, gradually getting rid of the kibble. And you don't have to. If your dog is doing fine with the kibble and you're looking at his poop and it looks healthy and it's not, you know, runny or he's having diarrhea, but if it looks pretty good and normal in color, then, you know, if you don't want to completely get rid of the kibble, that's totally up to you. You can. So just slowly introduce it over the course of a week. Sometimes dogs might need longer time. So here I am breaking up the Primal food, and this is his first time eating it, and let's see how he reacts. Hush. Let's see if you like it. You want some dinner? Okay. Okay, ready? Come. So this is his first time obviously eating Primal, and he eventually loved it. He pretty much cleaned out his whole bowl. We started him with the chicken because it's been said that if you're going to transition your dog to raw food, that chicken is the best protein to start with because it is the most bland. But definitely start alternating other proteins too, so that way they're absorbing all the nutrients from the other sources of protein like beef, turkey, sardines, green tripe, and all of that, which is good for them. We really love Primal Pet Foods, and we hope you guys do try it. You guys can see that they do incorporate the fruits, the seeds, and all the other good produce that they do need in their diet. And we've noticed a huge difference in Ocean too as well. His energy levels, even though they're already high, are even substantially long lasting. His teeth have gotten a lot better from the bones that Primal does have. They come in a 6-pack. They also have goat's milk. They also have beef and bone broth that you could put and pour on top of the food. And they have a bunch of elixirs, which, you know, have all like the fatty acids and the omegas in it that you can put on top of their food as well. So yeah, we do really hope that you guys try it, you know, at least try it. It's always good to try and prevent health ailments before they do come on. And just to have your dog live happy and healthy and a longer life. That's what we're all here for, right? So we hope you guys enjoy this video. Click subscribe and comment any questions you might have below on the raw food or transitioning your dog, and we'd be more than happy to help. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.